Good morning, everybody. I am starting this a little bit late today, but let's get on with it. I today am wearing a Martina Bem shawl, and this pattern is 22.5 degrees, I think the name of it is, and it's knit out of Vlogmas in the Starry Night color, I think, and I absolutely love this. It's another one of her shawls that just is so easy to knit with garter stitch and just a simple scalloped edging, and I love this shawl. So I've already gotten a lot of compliments on how it matches my flannel today, so yeah, I am pretty excited about my outfit. So I think today is going to be a tutorial day. I'm going to be calling this Tutorial Tuesday because not much going on. Okay, so I realized after I uploaded that tutorial that it was very long, so I'm going to split it into two parts. Part one will be the cue, part two will be favorites, and you will see part two in a few days. And by the way, in case you're wondering where I am in my house, I'm in the bathroom. The lighting in here isn't too bad at night. So, thankfully it's clean. Alright, I will talk to you in the next tutorial. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Tutorial Tuesday, as I'm dubbing it. So today I am going to start a series, or continue a series of tutorials that I started last week as part of Vlogmas 2016. And thank you all for your kind comments on my tutorials. I'm going to address some of the comments while I do this tutorial. And I'm also going to do a tutorial about something that you all are interested in on Ravelry. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about your cue versus your favorites. That's my topic for today. And I may do another in-depth tutorial in the future about both, but today I kind of just wanted to give a little bit of an overview of how I use my cue and my favorites on Ravelry. Okay, so I'm starting at my notebook. So at the top, when you log into Ravelry, you see all these tabs up here if you see my cursor. We have my notebook, patterns, yarns, people, forums, groups, and other tabs. So I'm here, I'm on my notebook, and this is where all my projects live, and I have to retake pictures of these two because they're terrible, but I'll do that at some point. So these are all my projects. I have 164 projects out there. I actually have to update this because I have finished, oh gosh, I've finished 3 or 4 since I updated this. That's unlike me. I usually keep this pretty updated. So, okay, so I'm in my notebook area, and you see my username here, and under my username is all of my tabs of things that I can go to in my notebook. So for default, when you go to your notebook page, your default, all of your projects are going to show up. Then under that, I am a spinner, so I also have hand spun. And I have stash, which also needs to be updated. I'm going to do that at some point. Okay, so let's get down to the two things that I'm going to talk about today. Cue and favorites. Let's start with my cue. Now, a cue is a list of projects that you are planning on knitting. And when I first joined Ravelry, whenever I saw a pattern that I liked, I would add it to queue, because there's a button right there on each pattern. Add to queue, add to queue, add to queue. I probably had 500 patterns in my queue. Am I going to knit all that? No. So one day I was bored and I decided to clean up my queue. So instead of 500 patterns in my queue, I now only have 6. So let's take a look at my queue, shall we? First pattern in my queue is Nouveau. I am currently knitting Nouveau, as you have seen. So I am not going to put this in my projects page until I finish it. So I don't have any works in project. I don't have any works in progress on my projects page. You can see all of these are FOs. That's how I choose to do it. Some people put it as a work in progress. I just prefer not to do that, although you can, because then you can add notes to it. It's just a matter of how you want your workflow to go. So let's go back to my queue. So I have this number 1, Nouveau by Martina Bem. Number 2, Snowflake Party by Martina Bem, which I finished 3 weeks ago. No, I finished it a month ago. Still in my queue. I need to update that. So I'll kind of show you how to do that now. So right here, it's number 2 on my list. I am going to, underneath that picture, there is a button here, Start Project. So I'm going to click on that. And that will bring me right to my projects page. And I made a new page here for this project. So I'm not going to edit it right now. So I'm just going to go back to my notebook, back to my projects, and all the way down here at the bottom, all the way down, you're going to find what I just added, and it doesn't even have a title yet. So I'm not going to go over how to edit a project right now here. I can do that in the future. Leave me a comment down below if you want to see me do that. I know that several of you are just beginning in Ravelry, so I will do some more basic tutorials at some point. But that's one way you can add a project to your project's notebook, is by going from your queue, and it'll go directly into there. So it's all the way at the bottom. When I start editing it, it'll go to the top, and the reason I don't want it up there right now is because there's no picture, and I'm kind of fussy. I want a picture. I don't want any projects that people can see when they click on my notebook with no pictures at the top. Personal preference. Okay, so that's that. Let's go back to the queue. So you can see now that that project is gone. It's out of my queue. I started the project. I actually finished the project. I'll edit it later. So now I have Nouveau, Even Star. Spoiler alert. That's my next big project. Puntilla, another project I'm planning on casting on very soon. Morticia on my list. And then I only have 5. I only have Fuchsia Nouveau. Okay, so I actually want to add another thing to this queue, and I'm going to show you how I do that right now. So I want to add to this queue because I want to knit a shawl for my husband after I finish Nouveau. So, oh, and interestingly enough, I don't even have my other shawl that I'm knitting, which is purleless, in here. So we're going to add those. So I'm going to go to patterns. I don't need the pattern browser or advanced search because I know the name of the pattern. It's probably in my favorites as well, but I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to do a quick search for purleless. Here it is. Okay, so here's purleless. It's in my favorites. You can tell right up here. It's in my favorites. And there's a little button right here. I'm going to add it to my queue. Even though I've already cast it on, I still want it in my queue because, like I said, I leave my works and projects progress in my queue. Okay, so I'm adding Pearlist to my queue. And I want to show you this button here. It says, include this Ravelry download on my wish list. Someone had sent me a comment about how you add to your wish list. You add to your wish list from your queue. So I'm about to add Pearlist to my queue. If I wanted this on my Ravelry wish list, I would check this box right here. I'm going to uncheck it because I already own the pattern. So that's another quick tip on where to find your wish list. It's in your queue. Okay, so I have this here. I'm going to save, going to the bottom of this window here that popped up, save and adjust position. So now I'm going to click view in my queue. So here's my queue. So what I want to do now it's number 6. I don't want it to be number 6 because I'm knitting it currently. So I'm putting it in position 2. So I'm going to click, it's at the bottom of my queue right now. So I'm going to click in that box, add a number 2 because that's the number I want it to be. And then at the bottom here, you see this little button? You just click Save New Order, and there it is. And that's all there is to it. So I have Novum, Pearlist, Even Star, Puntilla, Morticia, and this Fuchsia Nouveau by Romy Hill, which I love. It's I'm kind of thinking about that one. But no more. I usually don't leave more than 6 or 7 in here. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 14. And if I have nothing else going on tomorrow, maybe I'll do another tutorial. We'll see. Have a good night, everybody. Cheers!